Going. Hey, we're back. We're live. And if you're just tuning in, welcome back to another Doctales with Cocktails, week 3. And look at this. Look at my seat's empty. But look where Tim is.
I am in the Outer Banks of North Carolina trying to learn how to kite surf, which we will get to in some detail later.
Yes, you are.
Boy.
So, hi, Jamie. You're the first one on. Welcome to the show. We are just getting started. And since people will be watching this on the replay, I just wanted to say this week, Tim's gone. I'm here. We're doing the show apart because we know how much you guys love to watch these episodes and we love interacting with you. So we thought we would just keep going. So this week, I kind of said when Tim's away, the mice play. I haven't been playing. I've actually been, we'll get to that. Doing some things and sometimes laying on a heap on the floor in distress. And we want to just talk about handling some stuff with life struggles that, we're going through and that people go through. There's been a lot of changes in our life this last year and the last 4 years. And we are not immune to the ups and downs of life like other people. And I guess I want to talk a little bit more about why we take separate vacations. We've done that on podcasts before, but people are like, you actually take a separate vacation from your spouse. So yeah, we're going to dive into that a little bit more and talk about struggles with life and with just restarting and starting over and being a beginner in everything. So let's hit it. Let's go. What you got for a cocktail there, Tim?
I'm drinking Redneck Riviera, which is appropriate since I'm in North Carolina.
Oh.
I'm not technically in the Redneck Riviera, which would be the panhandle of Florida, but...
And what's in that?
Whiskey and whiskey.
And any old kind?
Well, Redneck Riviera is the whiskey.
Oh.
It's John Rich's brand. They sell it at his concerts. And
there you go.
If you're famous, you have to have a liquor brand, right?
A little pitch to John Rich. I like that.
That's right. Who's not a
bitch? We'll tag that, Mitch. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, he's probably not watching right now, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah. He's not watching. The reason he's not watching is because he's playing live music. So that's another story.
That's our social media real man, Mitch Romancia at Creative Fly Media. If you're in the need for a promotional person for reels and so forth, that's who makes our stuff. So you could check out Mitch. Anyway, let's jump in. Man, I'm just gonna start saying how this week's been extra hard for me, and I don't want to share too much stuff, but I'm gonna say, it's been a challenging time, and everybody's been walking through our life with us on the podcast and on social media, and they, we sold our house and we packed and we moved our belongings from the last almost 30 years of living here, which is a long time. We never sold a house before. We've been, up and down with career stuff. I've actually kind of taken a sabbatical for the last year, and I've actually started doing some other things, but exploring medicine. I had my hip replaced. I had my elbow. Oh, there you go. Operated on. No sleeve this week. I messed up my hormone replacement therapy. I'm going to admit it to people because I got too much advice and thought I knew what I was doing from Robert Yoho and Dr. Rosensweet's great podcast we did with them. But trying to play doctor on myself. Yes, we do that. And didn't know things were getting out of whack. We went to Florida. We got back. It was fun. And man, I hit the ground in a big heap, literally. And so I'm kind of going through a tough time because I'm a tough cookie girl and I keep things inside internally. And as a doctor, it's, I think, extra hard. Wouldn't you say so, Tim? Because you kind of know what's going on. You're like, hey, is it the hormones? Is it definitely stress? You know how to reach out to people. We have good support groups. We're Christians. We have faith. you know how to sort of talk to yourself as if you were a patient, but when it's you, it's different, of course. And then I look at we have a lot of friends and people we know going through some tough stuff right now. Um, Lots of illnesses, cancers, especially as we get older, people start getting more problems. And we were at church on Sunday, and I'll just say I was there and was going to share with my girlfriend some stuff that I wanted prayer for. And lo and behold, I didn't get a chance to because someone else walked up to us and dumped a load of struggles that she's had. I won't say dump in the way that, but she just got it off her chest. And I was like, oh my gosh, this poor woman, we were praying for her. So I'm thinking, who am I? You know, there's all these other people that are dying. They've got these illnesses. So I'm comparing myself and not allowing myself to validate my own feelings and my own struggles. And so I just wanted to share all that with everybody that's watching. Not to start off all heavy again, but you know, there's seasons of life and doctors go through crap. And, you know, this has been an interesting one for me, getting to this point in my life and all these health problems and changes and transition. So I just want to turn that around a little and say, you know, get resources, use the things, don't be ashamed to own your feelings, because what you're going through is you, and it doesn't matter. You can't compare to other people. You know, I could talk about all the different resources and things that are out there as far as how to get help if people want me to. But yeah, we're totally human too, and we have our excellent moments and we have our sucky moments, and so don't ever be afraid to reach out for help. Don't compare your stuff to other people's situations. If you think something's all amok, reach out in every direction. I'm like, okay, I need to get some help with my physical stupidness with what I've been doing with my hormone replacement therapy. Got that tested. Trying to get more help with my physical therapy for my body. Reaching out to girlfriends. Reaching out to pastors, support groups, and you know, some other professional stuff. And anyway, prayers for us is appreciated. Tim's been a great support, and there you go. So thanks for listening to me just kind of dump that out here on Doctales with Cocktails, because I don't like doing it on a podcast. It's never appropriate. We're always kind of talking about the guest stuff, and to tag that on at the end of the show just seems kind of lame. So there, moment of confession.
So what are you drinking?
What a great time to ask that question.
Yes.
Don't medicate with alcohol.
What should you medicate with then?
I don't really medicate with it. Well, maybe that's a lie. I do have a glass of wine when I'm stressed. I don't get inebriated because I know that's not cool, and I usually feel worse, and then I end up with a migraine, and it's all crazy. But I am drinking some red wine, and the brand that I am going to share with you all is, you got to get it up here correctly, Wyeast. And this is their Pinot Noir Reserve estate grown from 2021. Wyeast Vineyards is in the Columbia River Gorge. I'm a wine club member and have been for, I don't even know how many years, 7 or 8. Their stuff is amazing. They have the best Pinot Noir all the time, especially their reserve. So that's what I'm drinking. I opened up a very expensive bottle of it, even though Tim's not here, and that's what I'm having. So Wyeast Vineyards, check them out. If you go to the Gorge, Hood River, that's where they're located. Or I don't think they have any tasting rooms, but it's a great place to go in the summer on the Fruit Loop Trail. So there you go. So Tim is in. Are you going to share where you're at?
I'm in. It depends on who you believe. I'm either in Waves or Rodanthe, North Carolina, which is the Outer Banks, which is a long strip of sand that on one side is Pamlico Bay or Pamlico Sound, on the other side is the Atlantic Ocean. And it is an absolutely amazing place for windsurfing and kiteboarding. And I've come here to learn how to kite, it's my second year. And it is a very, I've been, we moved to Oregon initially largely because of windsurfing. I want to be able to windsurf and ski close to home, and that's why we moved there. We like the trees and whatever, and close to the gorge. And now I'm a
And I'm
beginner.
laughing, and I'm laughing. Wait, before we get to that, I gotta throw this into the mix too, because when you said it's your second year, last year was your first year, and you went. Didn't you go a little bit? Yeah, it was a little bit later in May. I know it was, and the reason I know that was because it was our.
30th wedding
I
anniversary, and
thought.
I
You,
was
oh
here,
yeah, I thought,
and
it
you
was
were
our
in Florida by yourself.
30th wedding
Yes.
anniversary, and he was there. There you go. Wrong way. And we went to Florida first. We were looking around. Actually, we were visiting friends. And then he's like, I'm going to go kite surfing. Is that okay with the boys? I'm like, during our 30th wedding anniversary. So I stayed in Sarasota, and Tim went and played. And then the funny part was I got flowers. I have to share this. It's so funny. I mean, this is supposed to be light and funny. I got flowers, but I still don't know if Tim paid for them or not, but I was talking to one of our real estate builder developer for our garage condo, and he's like, you got to get the girl some flowers. So he pulled up in his truck to take me to the development site one day, and he's like, these are from Tim, and they were beautiful flowers in a plastic bag from the grocery store. It was sweet. Anyway, so that was
Yes.
our 30th wedding anniversary, Tim's first year kite surfing. And I let him go back this year. It's not during our anniversary. And I will be home for that, dear. So go ahead.
Yeah, you barely, because when I get home, you leave. So that's another story for next week. We'll be doing another remote next week, but you'll be in a much nicer location. So
Yes. Well, and, I guess we can get to that in a bit about taking separate vacations and why we think it's important. But why don't you talk about the kite surfing and tell us how it's going?
yeah, well,
Haven't been
it's going.
slammed to the ground yet.
Oh no, I've been absolutely ragdolled. It is really hard. It's a very difficult sport to learn. I I'm I'm very accomplished at skiing. I was a great windsurfer. All of that was great, and now I'm a beginner again, and I'm a beginner at 58 years old, and it really sucks.
And
And
then, like I said, I can see that you haven't been wearing your sunscreen like a good boy, because your face is as red as your shirt, or kind of a Trumpian tan going on there.
yes,
You got
yes,
that orange glow.
yes. They fired Tucker. What are they doing? Greatest guy. What? Yeah. So no, it's crazy. Like it's really weird being a beginner, and I really was thinking about it because I was just like, why am I doing this? Like I got enough other stuff I could do. I know why I'm doing it, because it's really cool and it looks fun, and it's easy to travel with, and where we want to live for the next however many years, it's a great place to do it. But you literally you go from kind of riding to hitting an ejection seat and being pounded into the water like barefoot water skiing in a matter of seconds. It's like hitting an ejection seat. And
But have you ever hit an ejection seat?
no, so I guess I can't say that. It's like saying something tastes like shit. Well, have you actually tasted shit? The answer is no, but I can still use the expression. It's like an ejection seat. It isn't an ejection seat. So yes. So at any rate, it is. I was thinking a lot about this, and there's a few things that came up with, and it really has been a tremendous illustration of the power of struggle, and how we think that struggling is bad when really struggling is a sign of life. Struggling isn't bad. Struggling is life. But I think it's really only becomes very life giving if we understand a few concepts about struggling. And the first is that you absolutely cannot struggle alone. And so I have this friend of mine who's teaching me. He's very expert. We've known each other for over 40 years. I would completely give up if I did not have that support and his expertise. So you never struggle alone. The next thing is you have to struggle with purpose. You're not just struggling for the sake of struggling. You're struggling with an actual goal. So you have to enjoy the baby steps. And the third one is not to focus on what the end goal is too much. Enjoy the journey, because there's so much out. Like I'm out there, I'm flying a kite. I'm getting really good at flying the kite. I'm in the ocean, which is awesome. It's sunny out. I'm with friends. Like there's way more to be there's way more enjoyment there than there is frustration. It's somehow I'll leave frustrated because I didn't achieve whatever goal that was that day. Well, you're never going to always achieve whatever goal you set out for that day or that month or that year or whatever. So, so I really think that the key to struggling is to keep struggling,
Yeah.
but struggle with purpose. Don't struggle alone, and enjoy the journey. Really powerful stuff. And
Yeah.
I never even thought of this until I was out here getting my ass kicked kiting, and how powerful, because I haven't been a beginner at stuff for a long time. Like I haven't been a beginner skier. I haven't been a beginner windsurfer. I haven't been a beginner doctor. I haven't been a beginner at really anything for a long time. And so it's really good to be a
Yeah.
beginner again. It's really hard. So if you're a beginner in diet, if you're a beginner in exercise, if you're a beginner, it's a struggle, but it's worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's some of us like me. I'll do I would say a true beginner though, doing something that you've never done before is totally different than going back to something that, you've done repeatedly, but you're starting over. But sometimes it feels like a beginner, and I just would say sometimes I feel like the queen of the comeback, the queen of starting over with a lot of stuff in my fitness is really important to me. You know that I'm always like this the not always, but this last 10 years with all this orthopedic stuff I've gone through, you get to a certain level of fitness and then you're time off and you're away and you've got these limitations and then you have to pick up and start almost over again from the beginning. And I mean, there's always stuff there, but it's tough. And so some people, I think, that's hard for them. They want to give up. Um, or if it's the first time, you don't even know what that sweet feel of success is because you haven't been there. So it's so easy to give up. And me having been the kid that would quit if I wasn't good at it right away, I'll just pass and go on to the next thing. That learning to uh, fail and keep going and everything is so important.
Well, and
I'm
it's
talking to myself right here because for a lot of people that like struggling and that whole persisting, it's a lot of us just want to quit if we're not good at it right away. The pain, you're like, it's too painful. It's not worth it. Well, no matter what it is, whether it's a job, a hobby, your health journey. So, um, it's important to learn. You learn so much about yourself by sucking it up and continuing on, even if you don't eventually stay with that, right?
well, absolutely. And the reason that we do these pursuits and try new things is because that makes you grow in other areas as well. And the biggest issue for a lot of hobbies, whether it's golfing is a great example, is it's a platform for relationship with other people.
No, golfing.
And well, no,
Golfing is a way to destroy an elbow.
yes, yeah,
Not anymore. I'm mini golfing it.
yes,
I'll be your caddy.
okay, that's fine.
I'll just sit there and tell you what to do. Won't you love that?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. So we can both suck horrifically together. So yeah, but I mean, it really, the power of being a beginner again is pretty painful. But I think in the long run, this will be worth it, and it'll be fun. And I look at some of the people out there riding, and they're like 70 years old and 50 pounds heavier than me, and I'm like, well, if that guy can do it, like, well, like I feel like I'm completely like I'm in the Special Olympics.
So you
Not
always
like there's anything wrong with the Special Olympics.
you always put a positive spin on it. See, I would look at that person and go, "Oh, yeah, that's the guy that probably won the Olympics, like, when they were 30. That's why they're still out here with their 70. Oh, so I suck, so I'm just dead." That would be me. That's the way my brain thinks, But, um,
Yeah, I don't think that.
I know.
I think that that's somebody with a giant ass that is not an athlete that can do this, and so I should be able to do it.
That's interesting. That's crazy. Our brains think so differently. Huh. So,
Okay,
see
so separate vacations.
yeah,
Why do we take separate vacations?
because otherwise I'll be drinking wine all the time.
Well, there's that.
You're so serious tonight. You just need
There's
more
that.
you
I
you're
can go
so
for a refill. I just have to walk to the fridge.
That's
So,
okay.
so there is it's hard. It's actually hard for me to riff comedically by myself. I
But you're
can't
not.
play with myself.
But you're not by yourself. I'm right here. You're talking
Yeah,
to
no,
the audience.
I know, but it's way different. It's
I
weird, like
know.
how that's different. But
It's
it
like
is.
you're a guest on my show. Welcome to the show.
I know it is.
Well,
It's very.
well, it's and everything's so backwards here to me. Welcome to BS Free MD. Here's your show. Um, so why do we take separate vacations? I would say, jokingly, because we need to get away from each other. But I mean, you do need to get away from each other. Number two, for us, we do have separate hobbies and a lot of separate hobbies. A lot of people have the same ones as their spouse, and I still don't think that that's fine. I think you need to develop separate hobbies, but we have a lot of different hobbies. You would never catch me dead at that metal show that you played last week.
Well,
And
I
I
went twice. I went twice in 4 days.
no, I
And then
know.
I might even
And then you
show
played so much of that clip on there that I'm still scarred from it.
I know that the clip was amazing though. Here,
And then
let me find a new clip.
no, please, Lord, no. Tell him
So
no if you're watching this.
look at this. Then I was mosh pitting.
Oh yes. There we go. That's perfect. That's perfect. That is just so look at that. It looks like that you're at like some satanic death cult where everybody's trampling around
Look
in
at
a
that though.
circle. That
It's
is
so much fun. See, we take separate vacations because my vacations are May's version of hell. That's why they are literally May's version of hell. Sturgis is May's version of hell. Metal shows, May's version of hell.
yeah. And how many times did it take me to try to get you to like lay on the beach just still for like 2 hours before you were going nuts? A long time. So I think that it's also really important to develop. I mean, people are going to get this to develop that side of you that is different so that you have something fun to bring back to the relationship, to talk about, but also cultivate. Um, and we've said it before, man, doing medicine together for a long time, working in the same system, people do it and they're partners with their spouse in job, but having that all the time can get toxic. And so if you just have the same hobbies and stuff all the time, um, with your spouse, I wouldn't say it would be toxic, but it's not healthy. And so I think that's why we do it. And we get to go separate places for a little while. And so this year is going to be the first time that we've been away a month apart since before we were married. So we're going to see how this goes. But back then, we didn't have social media. There was no internet. Was there? There was no internet. It was when we were final year med students.
No, there was no internet.
There was no calling. You didn't get to call me because you were in Nepal. It literally was.
When I was in Nepal and we were apart for 6 weeks, which was just before we got married, it was literally the 10-digit code on the dial phone and a like $30 to talk for like 10 minutes or whatever that was.
Yeah.
That was so crazy.
And then the other time I forgot, hi Rick, hey, let's go hit the bars while Tim's away.
Okay,
awesome.
I'm getting a refill.
So he's getting a refill, I'll tell you. But the other thing that Tim and I were apart for 3 weeks when I went to Mongolia on a mission trip. And that was crazy because we had no way to call back. I think halfway through the mission trip, someone called back to the United States to let them know we were okay, but we had no communication. Then when I got home from the mission trip, redneck, look at that. I'm just talking about the mission trip.
Some asshole drank almost all of it already.
Oh my God. When I got back from the mission trip in Mongolia, because we couldn't communicate then, but it was like 3 weeks, then I found out one of our partners died. You had bought our kid's cell phone without my approval, and the babysitter got pregnant, and then I got really suspicious. I'm like, the babysitter's pregnant? What the heck was going on when I was gone? I'm never going away that long again.
I'm going to show Rick what I'm doing.
So, Rick, I am imbibing on some Y East vineyards from Columbia River Gorge. I'm a wine club member. You must be one too. Tim is in North Carolina, kite surfing. Is that you? That doesn't look like you.
No,
looks
that's
like
none of these are me.
oh
No, I'm the guy on the shore taking the video, licking my wounds because I just got my ass absolutely handed to me for two hours.
Oh my goodness.
No, like it's literally ragdoll destruction fest.
Yes.
I'm learning to enjoy it though.
No video of that? No video of the Ragdoll Destruction Fest?
No, not yet. We should. We should get. I should get Mark to get
You
video
need Yeah, you need some videos to show you before and after.
of
Um,
getting pounded.
and do you wear a Speedo when you're doing that?
No,
No,
I wear
don't
a wet
ever ask him to wear a Speedo
because
because
I
he
will,
has worn a Speedo, just like
and
Rick
I
when
will.
you won the hair prize. It will come your way and bite you on the ass, literally. Tim has worn a Speedo for the unpleasant pleasure of many of our boating guests. Let's just say. So
My boat, my rules.
yeah. Oh, the poor kids are scarred from that as well. Too much drag queen. Oh my goodness. So, are you gonna wear sunscreen, or are you just a
I'm wearing sunscreen.
project melanoma?
I didn't wear sunscreen the first day, and it was god awful. Like it
Yes.
wasn't. I mean, you don't think it's that sunny, and then you're staring straight up in the sun, looking at this kite.
So don't be a
And then
bad patient.
in the middle of the night, you're like, "Why is my forehead trying to like burn the sheets? The pillow's on fire because of my bulbous forehead. Is like looks
Are we
like
gonna?
a Trump spray tan."
Oh my gosh, all those wrinkles. Super funny. I don't know if
Well,
we should.
I'm top lit.
If I should repeat what our child said.
Yeah, we should. I'm top lit. I'm top lit, so the lighting is bad, and I have no makeup, so I can really make it super extra wrinkly.
That's beautiful, dear.
Well, what did our son say? Our son said, "I need to start wearing sun." He's 23. I need to start wearing sunscreen so that when I'm dad's age, my face does not look like an old man's nutsack.
Correct. It was more like, Mom, what sunscreen do you recommend? And what's not girly? And what can I wear so that my face doesn't age and look like an old man's nutsack? And I'm like, are you referring to the fact that your dad never wore sunscreen at all? Oop, wrong way. And this is the face of like SPF 50 on a regular basis from age 30. He's like, I didn't say dad's face looked like a nutsack. Exactly. Anyway, that crack is pretty deep. You might have some sand left.
That's impressive.
That's almost the same as the corpus calveri on your cerebrum.
Yeah, in my brain. I have extra brain in my skin, my scalp skin.
Is that how you know all the Jeopardy questions so well?
But yes, correct. But I also think that he was incorrect because all nutsacks are wrinkly, not just an old man's nutsack.
Oh yes, please.
So he should have just said.
Please share that with everybody.
He should have just said nutsack. That's all you needed was nutsack.
Are the guys listening to this in the back? Are these poor guys listening to this in your background? Are they there? Can they hear all this? I thought I heard laughing. Oh,
they're outside in a hot tub watching a movie. No, they're not. My friends have been undamaged by my
permanently damaged. Permanently damaged. Oh yes, yes. He's got an extra brain. That's how he knows all the trivia. When we watch Jeopardy, every night and gets all the questions to everything in Trivial Pursuit. It's just disgusting. If you are up for the challenge, anybody, we should challenge somebody to a Trivial Pursuit contest with you and see who wins. You could do I wonder if there's a way to do online.
That'd be fun.
Online Trivial Pursuit. Actually, you could do it. Somebody could be the neutral party and read the questions. I think that's a brilliant idea. Brilliant.
Great idea.
Yes.
Yeah, it is quite. I get accused of reading the questions. Like I have time to sit there and read the questions and memorize them.
Reading the questions ahead of time. Got it. Gotcha. So, want to share any memorable vacations apart that we've taken in the last 30 years?
Well, I mean, generally speaking,
anything funny that stands out?
Generally speaking, the stuff apart is I go to Sturgis and you go to Hawaii. and
Not always. I
but not
hate
always. And
Look at the
but
mission trips I've done.
you've done a bunch, yes.
That's not really vacation, but that was kinda my thing more than yours. You did come on that one, in the jungle of the Philippines, but for the most part, it was me going. Remember the
When we got
time?
lost in the jungle,
Oh my gosh, the story.
walking on the rice paddy little concrete walls, and May was really starting like close to losing it, like crying.
I lost it. We need to share that video you made. We gotta dig that up and find it and put it on our page. But yeah, let's tell them briefly about that stupid episode. So we went to the Banawi rice field terraces in the Philippines and went on this. Was it how many days? Was it 3? No, it was a week. I can't remember how many
No, it
days.
was close to a week.
It was close to a
I,
week. That's right. It was 3 different locations where people had never come in before and done a medical clinic. And we had to get these Sherpas to help carry some of our equipment, but it was backpacks only and jungle. And the trail through this jungle was actually walking on the ledge, the edge. Do you imagine walking on a balance beam or a brick of the rice paddy terraces that they had built? And then there was some dirt. But for the most part, it was walking on the ledge of these things. And usually you'd want to lean in towards the paddy because some of these places, they built them on the side of these cliffs and you would fall sometimes if you're lucky and there's a paddy below you into the wet, soggy paddy, but often it would be off the cliff. Anyway, 3 days we did this thing. And the first clinic we did that night, we had to take off and walk to the next location and it was dark already. I don't know. I think it was like 5 at night and they're like, "Oh, it's only," I think they identify how far it was by kilometers or how long it would take. Well, these are Sherpa little people that live in the Philippines and are used to hiking rice terraces, and
Sherpa little people.
they're shorter, they're fit, they know where they're going. They're not true little people. They're small people that are agile and young, and we had some large people on our trip. And anyway, it was like,
We
"Oh, you."
got separated away from the rest of the group. It
And
was
then
just
it's
you and me.
dark. Yeah, and then it was supposed to take like an hour, an hour and a half. And then we didn't know where we're going. We're just like kept on walking. And I don't know, it was like 3 hours. We were on the wrong trail. It was slippery. It was muddy. It might have started to rain. And then we got to this giant ravine that was traversed by a swinging cable bridge hung together with old railroad ties. And it was that didn't bother me as much as the fact that there's some areas that were super steep and we would go down and then we have to go up and my quads were burning and then I was scared that we were going to fall off the ledge and die or we'd lose everybody. That was crazy. But we made it. I lost my crap a few times and thought I was going to die there and leave my 2 kids as like without our 2 children without parents. But the mission trip itself was amazing. We saw some crazy pathology. The people were so grateful. But that hike, oh my gosh.
So
And then
do you remember
the roosters.
the roosters in the morning? And then, do you remember the number one request from the men that came in is come back and circumcise our sons?
Yes, everywhere though. That's a common thing there.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I'm an artist.
Well, on one of the trips I told you that I went on, I should write this as a book. One of the retired surgeons loved coming on these trips because he would old school way. He would line all these boys up. There'd be like 20 to 35 of these guys, and they didn't care. They pulled their pants down, age like 4 to 14, and then they would lie on the grass, and he would just go along old school style. I don't even know if he used a little bit of local anesthetic and snip, snip and gauze and like 5 minutes each one, just like bang these things out. And I'm like, oh my goodness, these poor kids, aren't they going to get infected? They're going to get dirty. Isn't it painful? And he's like, nah, they don't care. They want it done. Yeah, that was one of the most crazy things I remember from some of those.
Yeah, no, it's wild. I don't know why the system doesn't take care of that. Maybe it's prohibitively expensive in the Philippines to get circumcised. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was like because it's cosmetic. Most people couldn't afford to do it, so they didn't unless It was like back alley circumcision, literally. It was nuts. Yes.
My penis, my choice.
There you go. And then we all know Tim's. Oh my gosh. Kind of hit me after.
It's a delayed reaction. It's like a delayed punch.
We all know about your Sturgis favorite vacation trips away from me. That is one I will never go on. Thank you very much. So it's all to yourself. I kind of want to see. I would like to see Sturgis for a day, a half a day. Roll in, roll out, keep going. So if that's possible.
Someday you might be able to do that. You should see it.
I want to know if other people. I want them to comment on here. Sorry, Tim. I'll let you keep going. But I want other people to comment if they take separate vacations from their spouse. If yes, and if no, why not? So, what were you going to say? I should still see Sturgis. I joked that I want to go. That's going to be my summer job. It's going to be my summer job. I'm going to work in one of the bars. Yeah, Brad. Sturgis 2023. There you go. Are you going to go this year?
Me? I don't know. I don't know if I can go this year.
To be determined. To be determined.
Yeah. Right? I mean, I don't know.
You've done some heli skiing away from me. I don't go just to Hawaii. I'm trying to think though. Maybe you do. Maybe I do.
Ski trips.
Yes, yours are action packed. Mine are R&R packed. As our daughter says, I become a beach vegetable and lay on the sand.
Yeah, I've done some. I did actually some relaxing today, which was quite nice.
Well, because you're like a cat. As you get older, you're able to just chill and relax.
And like a cat, I chase the laser beams, and then I take a nap.
Not like our cat. Okay. People. Here, on top of everything I talked about at the beginning of this podcast, when it rains, it pours. You know how it goes. When stuff starts rolling downhill, it continues to roll downhill. So what happens? We moved. We're in this new house. Kitty used to be outdoor and then outdoor indoor kitty. Kitty has been trapped in the house because the neighborhood, we don't trust to let him out. And he's stressed. And how do cats exhibit stress when they, I don't know, maybe not the only way, but apparently
they shit blood.
They poop blood. They get kitty colitis. They get stress colitis, and then it drips from their bottoms onto the floor, onto the bed sheets, and oh my gosh. So the vet, that's a killing. I guess now I know how people think about when they go to the doctor's office. You take your pet to the vet. Oh, that it's the same price as going to the human doctor. And then you add the lab tests on top of that. Anyway, the treatment for this kitty colitis, because I was ready to farm the cat out to some friends and make it be an outdoor cat and just basically say, here, I'm dropping off Jesse and he's rehoming, and just tell me that he's happy and fine. Don't tell me if he's dead or if he ran away or if he is there. Just say he's enjoying his best life. Anyway, so Kitty's here. And I get to give him pills. That's really fun, giving a cat pills. And I get to give him probiotics and a diffuser that plugs into the wall to de-stress the cat. It exudes a nice mint smell with catnip and a touch of outdoor bird. No, I don't know what it is, but we can't smell it, but it's supposed to calm them. And plug that $40 Glade plug-in in.
Sounds like that's the perfect business.
I'm gonna get this off.
You can't smell it and it makes your cat less stressed. Perfect.
Right. And just watch it disappear though, and when it's gone, come back and buy another refill for $30.
I'm sure Fauci came up with that. I guarantee you it works. It works perfect. It makes your cat not stressed.
Well, today I went in and the cat was smoking a cigarette on the bed, so he looks pretty chill.
Good. With his non-opposable thumbs.
That's right. I think it was one of your cigars that you had on the side, and he's just like, batting that around. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So
they get
there's
all
that.
crazy with the ashes, though.
No, it's the smoke he was chasing.
Yeah.
The cigar blowing little rings, little O's, shaped with like mice with little tails. Anyways,
My hair is going to be really, really blonde when I
you
get
are,
back.
yes, you're gonna be bleach blonde, summer boy,
I will.
ready for Oregon when you get back. The sun
Yeah.
is shining here. I tried to keep the window open so people could see. We actually got sun, and it was 74 degrees here today, I think. So
It's a Christmas miracle.
it is. And it's supposed to get, what does everybody think? It's supposed to get to like 84 by Friday. We'll see. And then it's going to go to crap next week. So
Your weather is crap.
perfect time for me to bug out and leave.
That's right. Perfect time for me to come back, and then the weather will go to complete dog shit. Right when I want to start riding motorcycles and do spring skiing.
And pretending you're at Sturgis.
Your weather is crap. Yeah, no, that's what it is. Anyways, yes. Probably. I think we've exhausted what we wanted to talk about tonight, but keep
Pretty
struggling,
much.
man. Keep struggling. It's the only way forward. I someday I hope to post video of me actually doing this activity in a way that looks somewhat proficient. But right now, I'm a beginner, and I'm gonna try to figure out what it means to really love just being a beginner, because that's a different thing.
I love it. And I'll try to follow that example as I deal with Kitty, changing the litter box. He'll all be cured up for when you get back. And it'll be my turn to go be a beginner at something to yet be announced, TBA.
So next week I'll still be here, and you will be someplace else. You won't be.
No. Next week I'm here. I'm still here.
Oh, that's right.
Week.
Next week you're still in the studio.
Yes.
The week after.
So I can give updates on the cat colitis and updates on the crap weather, and you can give us updates on how you're progressing, and we will get we'll have a new wine of the week or a new cocktail of the hour, and maybe
because some asshole drank this whole bottle.
Maybe people will want to interact a little bit more or not. We'll see. But anyway,
we'll see.
If they're watching it on the replay, good for them. So yeah, keep hanging in there with your struggles. I'm gonna keep hanging in there and appreciate everybody's prayers for us as we keep going forward, trying to make our Doctales with Cocktails something fun and interactive for you. We have fun doing it, but we want to drag you guys along, and also putting out good podcast. Oh, that's what we can't forget. We're here to promote our podcast. So tomorrow's podcast is coming out. It's Thursday, and we are dropping a show on talks about healthcare. I wrote the show notes up today, and our guest is James Jordan. We had a little video clip of that. He has been in all industries of healthcare, from biotech, pharma, education, the boardroom, hospital systems, and he came on just to talk about some of the barriers to healthcare, issues that patients see that doctors don't see. We talked about, the healthcare is a business, and then, is it a right or a privilege, and how do we meld all of that, as well as tech, what's coming down the pike. There was no internet when we were in medical school. Now people can Google everything. Can you imagine in another 30 years, like what's going to happen? Tim thinks we'll all be consumed with nanobots, and that our watches will know everything about us before we do, which it sounds funny, but the Jetson life, I mean, yeah, maybe you have that watch on and it'll scan your body and tell you you've got a cancer.
You won't need a watch.
Okay.
You'll just snooter up you'll just inhale the nanobots, and you'll be 75 years old with the body of a 23-year-old weightlifter. Seriously,
so your wrinkles are going to get erased, is what you're saying. They're going to go bye-bye. Oh, take a picture of that so that in 30 years we can see.
Look at that. That's like a freaking Shar-Pei.
I'm going to invest in that nanobot technology if it can erase those things right there.
Nanobots are gonna make me look at that. That's a Shar-Pei. It's a
Oh my
Shar-Pei
gosh.
dog right there.
So check tomorrow's podcast out. It's really good. What I really appreciated, but he brought a different perspective. And, we've been in rural America, small town life, going to bigger city a little bit ish, 200,000 size. But, he's on the East Coast. He sees things with inner city people, struggles that they have, access to healthcare barriers and things that are different. And it was a good conversation. I think we bounced things around with him really well. And then what else can I say? We will be on Rick Dancer's show tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Pacific time for a few minutes. So if you want to check Rick Dancer out here on Facebook, YouTube, or his website, rickdancer.com, you'll see us again. So, sound good? Sounds great. Over and out. Stay well, because you still have life insurance, but I don't want to use it.
Only for a few months.
Yeah, well, if you're going
And
in
then
hard, if you're like I always say when you're on that motorcycle, if you're going to go in hard. Don't do it
Right.
halfway.
No, and then yes, very shortly I will become worthless dead.
Very shortly. Well, that's an ominous thing to say as we sign off.
No, in the next few months, when my life insurance expires, then I will be worthless dead.
Oh, I see where you're going. Yes. You'll be worthless dead. Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of worth dead. Huh. That's morbid. What a way to end. That is just terrible. I can't handle it like that. All right, people. I'm sure you've had enough of us. Send us your thoughts and ideas, or maybe not, for next week's show if you want to see this again. And have a good night. Stay tuned and keep writing us. Thanks. Over and out. Bye.